Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Kakasungura YouTube channel. There is something I want to teach the public. Na unifuata vizuri pole pole. Kama uko na kalamu na karatasi, ningependa sana uandike haya maneno kwa sababu hata wewe yatakusaidia. Kaka, I do a lot of research before I do my presentations to understand the situations. I am not 100% right. That is why I always read your comments to see where I went wrong. Maybe ulimu unaweza teleza niongee hiki na nilikuwa namaanisha hiki. No one is perfect and I am not any good or any better. But I try my best to be better each and every day. I am a staunch Christian. Mimi ni Mkristo hodari. And I believe that God performs miracles through his people. I know that very well. Najua Mungu ako na nguvu zaidi ya kubadilisha situations. Hiyo nayo naelewa vizuri. God has powers to change drought into rain. God has power to change rain into drought and other miracles that are beyond human understanding. But again, we should be very careful because some moves and utterances might be a mockery to the same God we serve and believe in. Sometimes God looks at us from heaven and sympathizes with us. Sometimes Mungu anatuangalia tu. Anashindwa hawa watu si hata mimi wameniwekelea jameni. So, Ruto, according to reliable information that is reaching my desk, Ruto is planning or has already planned to recruit pastors so that they can join 1,000 police officers that are set to land in Haiti in the next 3 weeks from now. According to reports, Ruto has already held meetings with those selected pastors, with the Haitian community. The selected preachers, hao wenye Ruto amechagua, they have spoken. And they claim they have held a successful meeting with the dreaded Haitian leader, commonly known as barbecue. I don't know barbecue, whichever way you pronounce it, but I pronounce it a barbecue. The preachers say, despite the gang leader being evil, nasikia vile wachungaji wa Kenya sasa wameanza. Ati barbecue ni saitani. That's why I began by saying some utterances is a mockery to God. Kuna mambo mengine tunawekelea Mungu hata yeye anaangalia anashangaa. So these pastors claim that despite barbecue being demonic, being an evil person, they have held a virtual meeting with him and they believe there is transformational hope in Haiti. Quick questions to note from the statement. 1. Ruto believes 100% that the violence in Haiti is God sent. Yani ile vita iko Haiti ni ya Mungu, sio ya binadamu, sio ya damu na nyama, ni vya Roho Mtakatifu. Some utterances really is a mockery to God. So from this, Ruto believes that the violence in Haiti ni vita vya Roho Mtakatifu na sio vita vya damu na nyama, That is why preachers are saying barbecue is a demon, is evil. Yeye ni mushetani. I don't know if such a name exists. Number 2, Ruto believes that the recruited preachers have powers to speak to God so that God can end the violence in Haiti. Point number 3, according to Ruto and the preachers, the gang leader is Satan who wants Haiti to sink. 3 quick points are picked from those points. Now, ladies and gentlemen, Ruto is the president of the Republic of Kenya who has traversed countries. And I believe to this point, he has all the knowledge on how the Haiti violence started. I know. Lakini kama hana huo muktasari, nataka nimpatie taarifa ya habari. Kama Ruto hana muktasari vile vita vya Haiti vilianza, mimi nataka nimpatie taarifa kamili. When people fight for freedom, they don't become devils. They don't. When Ruto claimed to fight Uhuru on behalf of the hustlers, Ruto didn't turn to be an evil spirit. He was just fighting for those he believed have been oppressed, the hustlers. The gang leader has followers. And he is entirely fighting for those followers. He is fighting on their behalf because, according to him, he feels they have not been represented on the high table. According to Barbecue, he believes that the people he is representing are not treated fairly. That is why he has decided to fight for freedom. When he does that, with all due respect, preachers, we cannot call him a devil. We can't call him a demon. We cannot demonize him. When the likes of Jomo Kenyatta and other freedom fighters, Dedan Kimathi and the rest, Jaramogi Oginga Odinga, when they were fighting the whites, they could not be called devils. They were fighting for their people. The same case applies to Barbecue. So the preachers who are just opening their mouths wide without duly going into research and try to understand how the violence in Haiti started are just opening their mouths evil too, yani. Anyway, just like Raila was fighting for the Azimio people, we can't call him a devil. Raila felt his followers in Azimio were not well represented in William Ruto's government. So when he was holding maandamano fighting for those people, we can't call him a devil. With all due respect, we cannot. We can't demonize him. Now, what is really happening in Haiti? Nataka nipatie hao mapasta na Ruto habari kamili. Inaonekana ni kwamba hawana muktasari. The gangs in Haiti, of course, there are two groups which I will explain to you later on. They do not want at all developed countries like US to intervene in the Haiti political affairs. That's what they are fighting. Hawataki nchi kama Amerika kuingililia siasa za Haiti. That's what they don't want. They want to be free as a country. They want to be liberated. They want their own independence, running their own affairs as Haitians. Even too, that is the only freedom those gangs want and nothing more. Kakai supported them. We all understand that Barbecue is a former Haitian police officer who understands Haiti very well and is a close ally to the president who was assassinated in 2021. I will explain to you that later. But there's something I want you to know. The story is very long, but I want to cut it into segments so that you can easily understand. Fighting for freedom can never be demonic. And those fighting for that freedom cannot be branded as evil just because we do not agree with them and just because we have been paid to fight them. No, Kenya will be well paid for sending those police officers. Haiti has two types of gangs. The first gang is known as the G9 Family Alliance, led by Barbecue himself. The second gang is GPEP, led by Gabriel Jean. But the most popular gang, which is taking over Haiti and has hit international and local headlines, is the G9 Family Alliance, led by Barbecue. According to my research, the gang took over power, or not even power, the gang took over the violence in Haiti after the assassination of Haitian President Jovenel Moise. I think that is the correct pronunciation. In 2021, who the gang believes was killed by one of the developed countries in the world, which you can guess and tell, because according to available data online, the people who assassinated Moise, they came from America. One of them is a very powerful politician who was a resident of America, but an Haitian citizen. A Haitian citizen mwenye alikuwa anaishi US. And according to reports, he also had interest in taking over power in Haiti. According to information, he landed in a private job and he was involved in orchestrating the assassination. And all the people involved in that assassination are believed to have flew from the USA, that is America. So when I say the gang now believes, you know, Barbecue, who leads the G9, according to information, is a former Haitian police officer who was a close ally to Moise, the president at that time. When Moise got assassinated in 2021, Barbecue, a police officer who is now former, decided to go to the streets and begin to fight for freedom, where he believed that Moise was killed by a country that had interest in Haiti, which Moise didn't want to give them away. So the only way to just have access to Haiti is to kill the president so that they can have their way. So kama mnanipata. So the Haiti violence, according to how I'm seeing things, is proudly sponsored by a powerful country which Ruto himself loves. And you know the country. Now, last year, according to the data and reports, the G9 and the GPEP agreed to work together. And they agreed to work together so that they can oppose a prime minister who was sworn in under the watch of that powerful country. Ariel Henry. Mnaelewa hii maneno kweli? Niliamua niwapatie habari kamili kwa sababu muhtasari ni kama hamuna. So Baba Q decided to join hands with the GPEP to make an alliance so that they can in unison now fight for freedom of the Haitians by saying no to affairs from that particular country I have told you. So hawa watu wameshikana mikono, wamesema kazi yetu ni kupigana na wabeberu, wawachane na mambo ya Haiti. Sio kama tunaelewana. After the assassination of Moise, there was a Prime Minister, Henry Ariel, who the both gangs believe is being used by the West to sell Haiti into them, like Kenya is doing now. So we cannot say barbecue is demonic. We can't say the violence in Haiti is God manufactured. These are people fighting for their freedom, and we cannot demonize them. We cannot call them devils. We can't call them Satan. These are people who are fighting for the coming generations, just like Kenyatta, Jaramogi Odinga, and the rest did to set Kenya free from the hands of colonialists. Sijui kama umenipata kufikia hapo, na kama hujanipata, hiyo ndio habari kamili. God bless you, ladies and gentlemen. So it's better Ruto ajue anapigana na nini. Ni vizuri hao mapasta wajue wanapoombea Haiti wanaombea nini haswa. Wasianza kufukuza mapepo ambayo hayako. Wasianza kumkemea shetani ambaye hayuko mahali popote. Those preachers, what they need to ask God for is to speak to the gangs, speak to the country sponsoring the violence, so that they come into agreement to let Haiti run their own affairs. That is the only way Haiti can be rescued. God bless you, ladies and gentlemen. See you in the next video. Asanteni sana.